Good afternoon. A double child benefit payment will be issued to families today. Parents will receive an extra €140 payment per child this month as part of measures announced in the budget to help ease the cost of living crisis. The first of three €200 electricity credits will also be applied against household bills in the coming days. It comes as Gas Networks Ireland forecasts no disruption to services this winter, as it says it has enough supply to meet demand.
November 1st, the beginning of a winter that we've been talking about since the start of the year. The cost of living crisis has been with us for months, but now the nights are dark and the lights must go on. Today, budget benefits will finally kick in and more than 2 million households will see a €200 VAT-inclusive energy credit start to appear in their bills. It's one of three credits aimed at cushioning the costly blow of this energy crisis, with the other two taking effect in the first 4 months of the new year. And parents have been thrown a lifeline ahead of a costly Christmas. 638,000 families will receive a double child benefit payment today. That's €280 per child, a once-off measure for extraordinary times. But it's not just soaring bills that have posed a threat this winter. Energy security has also been in question, though today Gas Networks Ireland has announced it doesn't envisage any disruption to its gas supply, even if we experience the kind of extremely cold day that's only seen once every 50 years. Across the pond, President Joe Biden has accused oil companies of war profiteering, and he's now talking about imposing a windfall tax if they don't boost domestic production.
Give me a break. Enough is enough. Look, I'm a capitalist. You've heard me say this before. I have no problem with corporations turning a fair profit or getting a return on their investment in innovation. But this is remotely what's happening. Oil companies' record profits today are not because they're doing something new or innovative. Their profits are a windfall of war.
And the true cost of that war will soon be laid bare as the cold nights return. Hannah Murphy, Virgin Media News.
Well, let's go live now to our news correspondent, ZARA King. And ZARA, the government introduced these measures as one-off payments, but they're not ruling out further payments in the coming year.
Yes, Aisling, and that's the reality of this cost of living crisis, because it doesn't seem clear where exactly the rising costs are going to stop. Sinn Féin speaking today saying that, of course, nobody denies the fact that these payments are needed and are indeed most welcome. But the reality, Sinn Féin says today, is that for many hard-pressed families, this money will have been spent before it has even been received. And that is the difficulty facing families and households up and down this country. They do not know. There's an unknown quantity in terms of the number that comes in on those bills every month. So this will go obviously towards helping people to some degree, but how much help it's going to be will need to be played out over the next couple of months. This is a €1.2 billion suite of measures from the government, but they are going to have to consider what they'll do after Christmas.
What we have announced is 1.2 billion before Christmas, and people are getting the bills now, and we need to help them pay their bills now, and that's on top of the €200 electricity credit. It's also will come off your bill from this week onwards, 200 before Christmas, 200 in January and a further 200 in March. So all of these coupled together means that people will have that extra money now when they need it to pay those bills.
Well, the question in terms of when will those payments actually be handed out, Aisling, well, the Minister providing a bit more clarity this morning, saying that the week commencing the 14th of November, that's when we'll see that working family payment, that's €500, the living alone allowance €200, the fuel allowance €400, and then there is also a further payment for people with disabilities of €500. That's that week commencing the 14th of November. Then the following week, the week of the 21st of November, a €500 carers payment happening there. And then in terms of the Christmas bonus, that will happen in December, the week commencing the 5th of December, so people can take a note of those and keep them in their diary. This is going to be crucially important for people, Aisling, as I say, as they get through this winter. But Sinn Féin talking about the fact that, look, this money is critical, but they're saying that the government needs to go back and review this again. There's going to be further resources needed after Christmas. As I say, Heather Humphreys and the government not ruling that out at this point.
OK, Zara, thank you very much for that. Well, with the extra payments help ease the burden of costs with the busy Christmas period ahead. Our Midwestern reporter Eric Clark has been gauging the reaction from Limerick.
With Halloween now behind us, the focus very much turning towards Christmas. It is, of course, the busiest period for retailers who are hoping that the government's cost of living measures will do enough to put money back in people's pockets and help restore consumer confidence. The double child benefit payment of €280 being issued from today. The first €200 electricity credit will come off people's next bills, and I've been asking people in Limerick City how helpful these measures will be for them.
It's only short term, isn't it? Like, we still have next year to think about, so we'll have to see what they do. But it is a big help. But I suppose more could be done. Like, inflation is crazy at the moment, so look, hopefully they keep helping people out and everyone will be okay for the winter.
Just about, I suppose. It's all, when you with this little fella, you're constantly buying and nappies, clothing. It helps anyway, some bit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It'll be a great help, yeah. It's great to see them doing something, so yeah. When we see a smaller electricity bill, I'll be delighted.
Reward people for going to work. That's what needs to happen, and that doesn't seem to be happening. There's people getting up in the mornings and they don't have the money for their diesel or their petrol to go to work.
Now, the second of those €200 electricity credits will be paid out in January, while people will see the third of those €200 credits coming off their electricity bills in March and April.